Hi, everyone. It's Cindy with Unique Times and Uniquely Fit. And I'm here today because we are on number 3 of bone health, building strong bones and muscles, and what to do about it. If you have any kind of possible issues with your bones, osteopenia or osteoporosis, refer back to my videos if you need to hear more about this or back to some of my pieces that I've written about. Um, this is what I want to say. Don't get injured. The older you are, the harder and longer the recovery. Now, can we help getting injured? Sometimes we can by being very mindful. Often injuries happen when we're not. So, can we avoid being sick? Yes, we can avoid being around people, washing our hands, blah, blah. But guess what? We're going to get injured, we're going to get sick. And it's really none of us want to have that happen, but when it does, we really have to stop in our tracks. We have to let our bodies rest. We have to heal. So I was injured, or I wasn't injured, thank God, but I was sick. And it took me like flat out of commission for a week. My bones, everything started aching. So all my areas of least resistance started to hurt. And I thought, that's it, calling, and I'm signing up for the hip replacement. Guess what? In about 5 days, 6 days, things started to stabilize and I was better. I was like, okay. So you need to know that's what happens when we get sick. Our white blood count starts kicking in, everything, fibroblasts starting to want to heal that. So just be patient with yourself. Sometimes you have to go back a little bit. You cannot start where you were. Um, so you make these strides and then you have to stop and you have to slowly build up. And it's frustrating because we know how fast as we age, things go. You will start losing muscle in 2 weeks. So you just have to start again. I've been thinking about habits. Like habits are fine, but I can't. So yes, take the but out of habits because it takes consistency, it takes time, it takes repetition, and it takes patience with yourself. So one of the things I talked to you about was food last time. And there's that whole phytites that are in food, oxides, and how do you know in our greens that we're trying to give our bodies healthier calcium, etc., nutrients when we are not getting the nutrients because these strip and rob the calcium. I've decided I'm not going to worry about it. And I don't think you should either. If you feel that you need to, you can explore that. But here's what I have discovered for me. I am going to eat whole foods that are not processed. That means from the ground up. And I'm going to get as best sources as I can. It's expensive to eat really well. That's the next problem we all run into. So I think do your homework, find what you can. Another thing with many of the bone density specialists are talking about is meat is like in meat from animal source proteins, the best form. And they're specifically talking red meat. And I know some of you are vegetarians. As a yoga instructor, um, I eat meat because there are things and properties that make a difference. So I want to say those two things. I want to say that in my book, I talk about falling off the wagon. It's a little like this. We have a glitch, we have an obstacle, a problem comes up. We have to address it because if we don't, if we go full bore ahead, we're going to injure ourselves more. So I have had to lower my weight a little bit, and then I'm back up in my weight. I made strides with my weight. I feel like things are shifting. Again, it's a blind faith that we're going on. I'll tell you a couple things I added. Algae Cal is a brand that is a trusted source that guarantees their calcium. I also started with their collagen. I've also added creatine to my diet for helping brain, but also helping more energy expansion so I can lift higher weights, thus getting better bone density. So that's an important product that I see they're backing their product with research. And you don't see that all the time. There are some other ones, but this one appealed to me. What I loved was they said, this is guaranteed. If you do not find a difference in your bone density after taking this product for a year till you have your next scan, they will reimburse you. That's pretty big stuff. So I'm still blindly going about it, which is difficult sometimes when you have no measure of how you're doing. The last other thing I want to talk about is what they have been finding with osteoarthritis. So we know jumping is good for our bones. We don't know that the running, the jumping, the jogging is good for our bone on bone. But what we are finding, and what some people will let you know, is there are products which I'm taking. Hey, I might need a hip replacement, and that's fine. I'll know when I need it. But right now, there are products that talk about building cartilage, and that some of this pounding movement where you give friction to the bone, to the muscle, to the joint, actually create new synapses, and you are better for it. So I'm going to do a mini workout today. I'm combining my talk with my workout because I have a lack of time. And I'm going to do something I don't even know how I'm going to do here, but I'm going to show you chaturanga, which is that morning exercise in yoga. I've been able to do again, and I used to do 20 of them. I don't recommend that because it is, where do we get problems and stress fractures? From overuse, whether it's your hands, typing all day, using your hands, your legs from standing, your hips from sitting, all sorts of things. So I'm going to start you off. Actually, I'm going to start you off with little jumps, and then I'm going to do the chaturanga, and I'm going to show you some weights that we talked about before, and we're going to call it a day. Short little video. All right, so let's stand here. Let's start with the jumps. And I told you we were going to maybe add directional jumps. The reason I'm jumping, why? You tell me. It's the friction. It's the directional force on the bone to create more osteoblasts. Look, this is small. Look, this is smaller. Find your place. This is bigger. Okay? So we're just jumping, 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 jumping. Let's add a little front and back this time. Okay, here we go. It's front, back. I'm just forward and back. If you've been religious doing this, like I have, except for that 1 week, it's not easy. You could start maybe a side jump too. Okay, forward side, back. Good. Other side. Yes. And forward side, back, back to middle. Forward side, back, reverse. It's forward the other side. Good. Yes, it's up. Very nice. Your heart rate should be elevated. Good. I don't know how many that was, about 60. Because I have to talk to you, I'm going to stop there. All right, here we go. Just a little something to set your mind, give you a little morning meditation. Come to the forward part of your mat. Take a breath, inhale. You can reach to stretch it back a little bit, and forward fold, or slightly round down if that's too much for you. And coming up, a little step back, and chaturanga down. Lifting up and coming back. Hold there for a breath or two. Bend those knees, jumping forward and rounding up. And again, right here, when you come down, you could have this soft bend, come up, another little back. It could be a jump or a hop. Look, if this is too much, drop your knees. Come all the way down and come up. You could do this about 3 more times. Basically, I wanted to show you that. I could not do that. When my hips were bad, and I discovered that in that yoga retreat, they crumbled. I'm back up to doing about 4 to 5 of those. I don't think it's necessary to do more of those. Maybe if you're a full-on yogi, you know you're never going to get a problem. But for me, it's a proof and understanding how the body works. Some of my best friends, colleagues are physiatrists, okay? And one of the single big things he said to me was, Cindy, you know what? It's more about the physical activity. If you go to a surgeon, they want to perform surgery, right? But if you develop these muscles, whatever they are that you're needing to work with, whether it's shoulder, hands, feet, that's where your body starts healing. So why I'm so excited about this, that I could probably do 10 of those repetitions. I'll probably only get to 6, and then I'm going to stop that repetitive movement so I don't end up in another place. When I went to the surgeon just recently, I came in, I said, here's my turmeric, I'm not using that, but I'm using this, this, and this. And I said, I kind of think that I can do this, and I'm not going to need a hip replacement. So we talked for quite a while, and he looked at me and said, walk. And he said, let me see you in a year. So when I left, I realized I was trying to get sort of a support, right, from him to tell me, oh, yes, that's great. He's not looking at any of those products. He's looking at, do I need them? He's a surgeon. He does brilliant work. One of the things you're going to hear about a lot of different surgeries. Hey, if you need it, do it. Everybody that I've known has said, I would have done it sooner. And what I say is, I see 90-year-olds going in, having no problem and healing from it, and they're up the next day. So for me, that might not be you, but I'm approaching this for, I'm going to know. I don't love lifting my hip over when we go to the boat, but sometimes I have to give it a little help. I might get to a point where I say, hey, it's really not working to the level that I want it to, but for right now, I am still jogging, only a few days a week, and sometimes less. When I was sick, I did not jog that week at all. So it's the listening to our bodies. Okay, here we go. Next exercise, I showed you a version of pulling down with a lat. It could be a band. Again, if you're working on bone health, it's not going to be heavy enough over time. But because I don't have that machine in here today, I'm going to do a modified version. Okay, so I'm doing my back. So it's an inhale, exhale, right? 3, 4. Now the problem with this weight, 6, 7, 8. I only want to get to 10s, remember? 9. Feel a little clicking in my hip. I'm going to step back. It's not heavy enough for me. So I would need to go up in my weight, and I only have 120 pounds here. The next move we're going to do is that I've showed you. It's a bicep curl, and it's a lift and a lower, and a lift and a lower. Good. 3. Inhale, exhale, abs are tight. Breathing with me. Good. Take your weight to where you need to be. This is 15 pounds for me. And I'm to my max. Right there. Okay, that's exactly where I need to be. I would do 4 of those sets. I'm going to take you into a squat. One of the hardest exercises for people to get. And we're coming down. I'm going to barely touch, and I'm going to come up. Watch. The reason it's so hard to get is because you have to fall almost behind. So watch my knees here. Do you see My toes are kind of lifted. I don't want this. That stresses your knee. So with these, I could do about 20. Inhaling and exhaling. I do a little bit more on my legs. Good. 8. Nice. 9. 10. Go to 15 just for count and time purposes. Perfect. And right there. All right. I'm going to go into a tricep right after that. So again, this will not be heavy enough. So I could grab the 20s, but I'm just showing you right now. I'll come back and do my workout in just a little bit. Inhaling, exhaling. Those elbows are nice and close. Good. Again, if you're working on bone density, you're going to get to no more than 10, and I've already gone over that. All right, a big one that they talk about. I took these out of my program for a long time because this is how I got injured with my back. You have to be really careful. It's one of the top 4 exercises that I had mentioned to you that has been studied that does help bone density. So it's a deadlift. Some people go straight leg. I advise softening the knees to keep the joints protected. You're just coming down and you're coming up. Good. Abs are really tight. How's that different than a squat? We're moving over. It's a little bit similar. Good. So we have basically 4 exercises that we've done. I could turn this into a lunge going down and up. Okay. So that would be another exercise you could add on with your legs. And stay here for a minute. Just stay down. Beautiful. Switch legs. Take it back. So we're just down and up. You notice I'm not down that low, right? So if your knee will go down farther, please go all the way to where your body tells you. And we're going to hold right here. Hold, 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 and release. Okay. Another exercise I will add on today is just a front raise. So it's down and lift. Good. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you can see that my left arm, my right arm, but left to you, is weakening, and I'm done. Last thing, let's take this down for a plank. Okay, so I want you to continue doing your core. You just notice I've not been putting together a whole video because I'm specifically targeting our bones. So you could be here on your plank. You could be here on your plank. You could come down here. And I'm going to do a full-on plank. Join me how you would like. And I'm just going to hold. So we're breathing. We're lifting through our abdominals. Our head is in alignment. We're squeezing our glutes. And we're just breathing. So I'm thinking I want to go for about a minute if I can. And that's kind of what I want you to be thinking. So if you go to a minute, I want you to go to 1:30 next time, right? I mean, slowly getting to that point. And we're just breathing. We could rock back and forth, giving our minds something to do. I could walk the dog with my knees. Good. And right here, I will have 10 more seconds if I'm going to get to that minute. And I'm going to just hang out and breathe. 5 seconds left. Stay there if you want and continue, or stop with me. All right, we're going to just go into child's pose. Taking your head to wherever it can. Breathe with that. Come back up onto all fours. Make sure your shoulder and your wrist are aligning. Take a cat-cow. Inhale, arch shoulders down. Exhale, draw your navel up to the spine. Inhale. Separate out your fingers. You could switch these up. You could play with this so you can get a little stretch in this whole bicep area. And coming back up, pause, take a breath right here. Inhale and exhale. Come to your mantra for the day. Remember, movement is a cornerstone of life, of living. So moving, listening in whatever capacity. Thanks for joining me for this short workout. I hope some of it was useful.